ki khubor ka bate si TV. Lawan Rashaphi taka Frank Motors. Booking open for the new Nexon. Visit Frank Motors or call 7045207973.
The Kajing Tmu Baniyo Ekal Air Bukho but Kabasuba, but Baniyo Eki Khlaw with Jyrngam, the Khasi Hills Autonomous District Council Harankat Bakamighalia Basin Development, Class Dang Yakawake project Gulatip Kumka Agroforestry Carbon Credit Scheme. Halor kari Kajing Tmu Ladan Arhu Prangot ki Nongrep ki Balawan Shakmat, pan register Yakajaka Kajonki but Kanika scheme. But ki Nongrep ki nyok jiminto ya ka Snem kan omdunai ka Khatsan Hajar tingka, nulor ki Marep ki Balayo ban penyayo. Ha kini kesni lay dan lang rugi kli nang sen charge jung hima milliam but kumjuru na ka hima khairim nalor ki nong yalam jung IORA Ecological Solution Private Limited nalor ki officer ka KHADC but GHADC habekran bekla pathai khubor chief executive member ka KHADC uba penya sing se mulayat ho baki Nongrep ki bala ban sumar bat thong ding ban Jyrngam mi ki jaka rep ni Khlaw ki betam kini yo ek jimin toy bakraw na kani ka project
nakamenta kanika we ka jitmu ka thom ka bagidan kata tika program shapang ka green Meghalaya green economy Meghalaya te kanika jitmu hi ka long ba kumno ngin penne pensa yaki Khlaw ki betap pat kumjuru mdei tang penne pensa yaka Khlaw nam taka jimbetoi habide baka leer ka bakho iban yo khamtam ban kijet yakanika ka carbon ka ba kan air ka ba sneo henry kanika approach lani kanika sinjam ko bingi shimenta ka compare ka longba yakinu ki Nongrep se ki farmers ki bala ban sumar ba sedang ban thungding khamtam habide kanika agroforestry kumju ka ba kentup lu wat ikini ki Nongrep laterpa se somaret kuai la benong ki babun ki Jyngrap ki ba dan jingmut de se ke ba penlong ya ka Khlaw ko betap yakini ru la komon la ko kani ka jingtmu jokani program but kumju ru wat yakini ki law kentang lani ki Khlaw jongki hima lani ki kur ki babun kini ki private plantation ki badan te kani ru ka kentup lang te ya kani layas dang mentala katu kani por kumapi la tip ni la don ka first meeting for district council te office jungi but mentasni ni khot lang ya Jainte Hills but ya Karu Hills district council te nakida bom lakyar kim dan lang hangni henry nakihima ki yawan bani shimenta mangi kham khot bon ni khot chotang hima melim but hima khairim kini ki hima ki ba kham he ba po rihasi ba yakani jingtmu lai trelang bat kanika development bank bangi ongka rabo bank ringkat ba kanika akon ne IRA ka team professional team na po Delhi ya kaban pen urlong ya kanika jingtmu dan nakal yang jungi kum ka dis council ngi so ba kanika deka aka initiative ka ba long dan kambha buat ka balong kongsan hadu kata hakanika juk ka bamenta kanika Snem umta kham kerpang ru namar ba ngi plek jingmut habide ban penek pensa eka marian te ka ba ar kumba phi juktip ka central act jong forest ka don ka state ba ngi ka council forest act ngi don kini baru ki jingtmu betang ban penek pensa henry kanika approach ka bamenta pat kanika initiative ba thmai menta pat kalong bangin COEA yakitu kiba penek pensa marian katakan ketika ke ba sultanat te mentangi community baling ba kanika meeting ka ba ar ngila yo ban long mentang sni ngets kam ngin sa lek ban ye kendu si Nongrep hi chaka ba per hani pori khasi Jainte ajungi bat Karu Hills ru khnang ba Nongrep kin la ban yo jingmentoi na kanika program ka jungi
environment protection is very, very important. So a lot of measures are being taken across the globe. One of the important measures is that like how to actually connect the indigenous farmers and people who are actually protecting the forests and growing the agroforestry, how actually they can be connected with the global carbon markets. So the global carbon markets is essentially they like to actually see that which are the areas where there is a lot of effort is being done in terms of the forestry and agroforestry. So that to bring that connection, we have had from Netherlands a development bank, Rabobank, their entity called Econ. They have come here, and they essentially they are an agency which actually are bringing these connections from the global carbon market, so essentially like who would like to purchase these carbon removal units. Carbon removal unit means, suppose if we have a good forest, so that actually essentially takes away the carbon from the environment. So the carbon removal units would be compensated. So there is a very good this particular Rabobank has come up with an idea that they would like to support essentially the farmers, and also to transfer the benefits to the farmers, like almost like 80% of the benefits that actually which come through this particular kind of arrangement will be transferred to the farmers. And the second is that the important thing is that this also actually it's not only the future planting, but also even the planting that has been done in the last 5 years also can be covered. Like, for example, somebody has done plantation work, including some kind of an orange plantation or any other agroforestry plantations in the last 5 years also can be covered. So what we have been doing as a part of this entire work is that we also have engaging the village community facilitators to go and actually present this idea to the farmers, and also to enroll those farmers who are actually interested in participating in this kind of initiative. It is like you also aware that like state government's initiative of payment to ecosystem services, where there is already a large number of farmers, like almost like 50,000 hectares has been covered across the state, where if you don't cut the forest, if you preserve the forest, annually there is a kind of a in fact some amount is actually provided to the farmers, like which ranges between about 13,000 rupees to 15,000 rupees per hectare. So that kind of a thing will happen with the global the markets now, that connection that what we are going to have. So this is a very important thing, and a lot of in fact the traditional Himas, they also have participated to understand this entire process, how actually you can also include the community lands and other lands where we have the forest, how whether they also can get benefit. So that also have been discussed. So the process has been started. In fact, already 24 farmers have been registered. There is basically through satellite based mapping, they look at like whether how these forests are preserved. Once it is registered, the forest should not be cut, like they should see that like they are actually, the forest is there and it is absorbing the carbon. So that is the kind of a thing with technology. This is possible now. That's where the Rabobank has come and said that, like, if you have the forest and show us, and register us, and we will, measure it, and based on the measurement, like over a period of time, actually you continue to get this kind of a sustainable income. So it's a very important measure that in fact our Honorable Chief Minister has started this payment to ecosystem services, and thereafter actually what is the next step? Next step is how actually we can connect with this entire global carbon market. So that's the a very good step that has been started with today's stakeholder meeting.
Measurement is there regarding for payment of carbon finance. Kata kasyong ki details nga sa ay hadin.
So one carbon ton can get up to 20 euros. That's what the current price.
Latest price that is 34 euros.
Yeah. So basically it depends on the carbon global market, like how much actually they are trying to purchase that carbon credit. So let's suppose sometimes like 20 euros the minimum. There are some rates somewhere, like basically depending upon the global carbon market rates. This is a very good thing in the sense like agroforestry actually provides like a multi-cropping. It's not like a broomstick alone cultivation. We're not saying that, essentially it also encourages farmers to really take up some good agroforestry plantation which protects the environment. At the same time they get some revenue from their agroforestry. At the same time, if it is registered in the carbon, they also get the carbon. It's additional benefit. They'll get it. So this is a good proposition, I would say. This is a kind of a solution for the problem that you mentioned.
It'll encourage tree plantation.
Katay kini ki forest cover ki bala don lupa. But ban pensilur ya ki brio what itu ki caka bala bom don diang show. Ki badang don ki caka ki bahe bakin stang ban thung diem but daka jing yarap daka jing biten nanti jok kanika tim ke bat man. Actually already started since the first meeting we had in council 3 months back lai benar inshallah sedang te menta kumbalong ngila yo ben enroll kumba aku rangut ki Nongrep 28
28 years.
yeah
In the
28
last 3
farmers
days, yes.
yeah te ngit sedang syar kini ki aku rangut ki Nongrep te ngit pe kumno ka kam kaya but ke ki jingmentoi bakini ki yo but kin sakhi dakini hi ki Nongrep kumno ki benefit they will later witness how they are benefited by this scheme or by this project. Yeah.
I think you can mention that when what are the documents required.
I can mention farmers required to sign a consent form that they agree to this scheme, and we like to just validate the land tenure, formal, informal, both we recognize. So there is a consent and an agreement, and the plan is that we will only be able to take carbon and give them revenue. Everything else, the land title, the output of the trees, the benefit of water, everything stays with the farmer. So we just need a consent agreement that they will participate in the scheme, they will take care of their trees, and they are willing to accept the carbon revenue to maintain the trees. That is simple, and then we map their farm and onboard it. It's all through a digital app which Rabobank has developed.
Ka tho shai bha ye kiniki riushimet ki farmers shimet te dafikali kumno kan benefit pat ye kiniki Khlaw kur mo ono ki jaka kur te ya katu pat kin sadon ki guidelines let's say belada la yo katu ka benefit kin ya sam hapada kitu ki long yeng lo sem jok kitu kur ke te kan benefit hatan kom ka ban long community benefit ke mo